Are we live? Are we live right now? Hold up. Wait a second. Book of Boba Fett season 2. Wait, what? Are we live right now? Hold on. What? What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. What are we let me rephrase. How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening? We got a lot to speculate about. Again, kind of a shorter news day as Star Wars fans, but there is this weird news going on about the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Whether or not we will get it, whether or not we have enough time for it before the Heir to the Empire movie that Dave Filoni is directing, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to speculate about all of it. And, of course, the Rey movie's plot was just leaked, or at least we think it was. It is very strange time right now. This plot leak for the Rey's new Jedi Order movie was just leaked out, and now Lucasfilm is claiming that it's wrong, and you don't really know who to believe. But as of right now, I don't believe the leaks just because the writer's strike's going on, and I don't think the Rey movie is even done yet, so I don't think these leaks are correct, but we're going to go over the leaks regardless. We're going to go over the people who think the leaks are wrong and why they think that is. And of course, we're going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 as well, because do we want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? What do we actually think about a possible second season for that first, I'd say, lack of a season of the Book of Boba Fett? A lot of people calling it Beta Fett. Do we want a second season? So let's start off right there. Let's start off the show with a poll. That's this. Do you want Book of Boba Season 2? Do you want it? Yes or no? You tell me. Do we want it? Honey Badger first in today says, this is where the fun begins. Exactly. So what do we think? What do you think? Do we want the Book of Boba Fett Season 2? Yes or no? Honey Badger says, give me more Boba. The right Boba. But I do believe the leaks may hold some truth. Remember, Rise's script was leaked. We all laughed it off, and it was all true. If no Finn or no Ben, I'm out. Well, that is very true. The Rise of Skywalker was leaked long before the movie was released, and many people didn't think they were true, and it was true. Those leaks were true. However, I think it's a little bit different in this scenario. It might be the same. Maybe some of these leaks are true. Some pieces of it are. Some pieces aren't. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And we're going to go over the leaks, what they are and what they're all about. But yeah, I mean, it's never something to just laugh it off. You got to take all these leaks into consideration because some pieces of it might be true, some pieces might not be true, and you got to take it all with a giant grain of salt. But if there's no Finn and no Ben Solo, Honey Badger is out, and I think a lot of people are probably on that same page. But he does say, give me more Boba, the right Boba. Not Beta Fett, but actually cool, badass Boba Fett. And I completely agree. I do want a second season of that show. That show was not bad. It wasn't. It gets a lot more hate than it should. Honestly, it's better than Andor. It's better than Obi-Wan, probably even. And what really elevates that show is the 2 Din Djarin episodes, is the 2 Mando episodes with no Boba, and a lot of people complain about that, but who cares? It's still 2 episodes of the show that are amazing. The N1 episode is fantastic, but I think Luke training Grogu could be one of the greatest episodes, or even 40 minutes of any Star Wars content ever. And I am still sticking to that because it's unbelievably good, and I think it's just top tier. Honey Badger says, off Star Wars topic, did you watch Marvel's Secret Invasion? First episode was mind-blowing. I'll just give a brief synopsis of what I thought of the first episode, because this is a Star Wars stream, and maybe by the end of it, we're going to go for a long stream tonight, a really long stream tonight, because I am going on vacation next week, so we're going to have a lack of streams next week. So here we go. Secret Invasion. Tell me in the chat if you guys saw Secret Invasion and what you thought of Secret Invasion. I know it's a Star Wars stream, but why not? Why not? Give me your take. My take on Secret Invasion is it was a good start. Not mind-blowing like you were saying. The Skrulls are really, really cool. The problem is Secret Invasion in the comics is unbelievably cool. It's all the different heroes. Are they Skrulls? Are they not Skrulls? this, that, and the other thing. There's no Avengers involved. It's just Nick Fury. It kind of seems very low level. With that being said, this was a very good first episode, and I think the show is going to ramp up and get really, really good. It's kind of a letdown when you put the title of Secret Invasion on it, and it's not up to the par of the Secret Invasion that we know and love from the comic run. So, I don't know. There's still 5 episodes left, and I do think it will get a lot better, and I think it will be a lot more mind-blowing even. Who's a Skrull, who's not a Skrull, and maybe even a superhero that we know and love could be a Skrull this entire time. And a lot of people think that Rhodey might even have been a Skrull from the start, so who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Because the Skrulls have been around since the 90s, so really they could be anybody. But yeah. Honey Badger says, but I do want more Boba, less Fennec Shand, and maybe a story of Boba tracing his roots back to him and his father's Mandalorian mythos and backstory. I could see that. I mean, something comes up and he has to go track down like a friend of his father's or something like that. Jango Fett, of course, being the guy who created all the clones. Something like that would kind of be cool. But as you can tell in the thumbnail, I got Han Solo. Because when there's Boba Fett, there should be Han Solo. The two are very interconnected through the Star Wars story. And if Boba Fett has any gripe to finish off, it would be with Han Solo. He turns Han Solo into carbonite. Then Han Solo hits him into the Sarlacc pit. So he's the one who literally sent him there to die in the Sarlacc pit. So if he was really angry at somebody, it would be Han Solo. And, of course, all the rumors of Han, Luke, and Leia either being recast or being deepfaked. All those rumors coming out about those 3 major characters and their involvement in the future of this Mandoverse, whether it be in Mando Season 4, Ahsoka, the Heir to the Empire movie, or even maybe a possible Book of Boba Fett Season 2, it is possible that we could be seeing a lot more of Luke, Leia, and Han. And what better than a Boba versus Han Solo type scenario going on in a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? I mean, I'm all for it. I don't know. Do you guys want that? Do you want Han Solo to go face to face with Boba? I feel like Season 1 was Boba versus Cad Bane. And Cad Bane's one of the coolest bounty hunters ever. So is Boba. But their showdown was kind of lackluster, to say the least. It was 2 old men fighting. But with Han Solo, it's a little different. And it would draw a lot more attention. That's for sure. That is for sure. Honey Badger says, to tie him back into the Mando story better and to fit him into Dave's movie. It is true. Boba kind of seems to be off doing his own thing. But it is not that hard to bring him back into the fold. He is ruling over Tatooine, and all it would take would be what the hell's his name? Thrawn to show up and just be a big enough threat that Boba needs to help too. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Ahsoka's going to set up Grand Admiral Thrawn in this big army of undead clone stormtroopers that are brought back to life using Night Sister magic. And he's going to come into the galaxy, and he's going to be this huge threat to the galaxy. And who's going to stop him? But the Mandalorians and Boba Fett's crew on Tatooine. So you got Chrysanthemum, you got Bo-Katan, you got Fennec Shand, you got Boba Fett, you got Mando, you got Ahsoka. Hopefully you got Luke, Leia, and Han. And they're all banding together because there's really no other option to fight against Thrawn in this big threat. Because the New Republic doesn't really have that big of an army, or any army at all, because of what happened with the Empire. So there really is no defense when it comes to Thrawn coming in with a giant army. So it would be pretty easy to bring Boba back in. Yeah. Yeah. Honey Badger says, to be fair, good point, but Secret Invasion will lead into the Secret Wars movie. So I think the show will be setting up some plots and stakes for Secret Wars that will be adapted, that will adapt the comics concept. Yes, Secret Wars is going to go insane, and I think it will go insane. Marvel's really reworking a lot of stuff right now. But Secret Invasion still just kind of seems like a Disney Plus show. It's smaller scale, and that's kind of what the Disney Plus Marvel shows have been. Star Wars, on the other hand, has done a really good job with the Disney Plus shows. Credit to Lucasfilm, credit to John and Dave, especially because they made almost all the shows. they've done a great job. Star Wars has done a great job. The Mandalorian season 1 through 3, Book of Boba Fett, Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars season 7. Yeah, I was right. Book of Boba Fett, Bad Batch season 1 and 2, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Am I just repeating myself now? Andor, like, these are quality shows, unlike the Marvel stuff, which kind of seems to be forgetful. Yeah. Honey Badger says, I'm down for a Boba versus Han showdown, but how would that end up? Han has to be alive. Does that mean Boba has to die in his own show? I don't know. I really don't. I think Boba's still going to die in the Heir to the Empire movie in some, like, big sacrifice play or something like that, like an Iron Man type exit. But Han versus Boba could end up in a standstill. It could end up with both of them surviving. Doesn't have to be one of them dies or not. I don't know. Maybe. Be quite interesting. Quite. Honey Badger says, also, don't want to spoil Jedi Survivor for you if you haven't completed the bounties yet. So before I continue, do I have permission to speak on it? Yes. I have not finished all the bounties, but I do know, and spoiler alert, it's been months now. It's been literally months since the game came out, so it's on you to click away. The final bounty, because there's a bunch of bounty hunters tracking down Cal Kestis, is Boba Fett, and it's pretty cool. I've seen the cutscene from it. I have not played through it yet. I'm still kind of just like, since I finished the story of Jedi Survivor, I was like, holy crap, that was so good. But I've just been like, do I want to keep playing that game? I haven't gotten the urge to go back and finish, like, the bounties and stuff like that. Jeffrey, what's up, Jeffrey? Jeffrey says, well. Jeffrey, Boba Fett Season 2, I know you're a big Boba fan. All right, let's get into the article on why we're even talking about this today. It all comes from Fennec Shand, Ming Na Wen. Let's talk about it. Let me pull this up right here. Do the thing I want you to do. Do what I want. Do what I want. There we go. Perfect. It did what I want. Jeffrey says, how's everyone doing? Hell yeah, Season 2, but different aspects of his new life. Well, what do you mean by that, Jeffrey? What do we think? And I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. All right, let's get into this article while Jeffrey explains himself. All right, here we go. Boom. Wait. Boom. There. Oh. Boom. Okay. Book of Boba Fett Season 2, will it release or get canceled? Well, here's the thing. Is it even a thing? It's the real question. So, as the Star Wars Mandoverse continues to expand on Disney+, the question is whether the Book of Boba Fett will ever receive its second season. The Mandalorian's Origins spin-off series first debuted on December 29th of 2021 on Disney+, and explored both Boba's past and his present on Tatooine's new crime lord. So he is the new crime lord on Tatooine. Is the Book of Boba Fett getting a second season? Scroll. At the moment, there has been no official announcement, so there is nothing. All of this that we are going to talk about right here is just a rumor. Okay? So, despite several fan favorite moments, the Disney Plus series starring Tamara Morrison and Ming Na Wen was largely met with mixed reviews. You could say that again. Beta Fett, Luke Skywalker's amazing. Grogu shouldn't have come back with Din. That N1 Starfighter is so sick. Those flashbacks were too much, but Boba training with the Tuskens is so cool. How he escaped the Sarlacc is so cool. There's a lot of mixed opinions when it comes to the Book of Boba Fett. Still, leading up to the show's conclusion, expectations were high for Lucasfilm to follow the Mandalorian model with a second season. Ming Na Wen's 2022 Twitter post, where she referred to the show as Season 1, added fuel to the fire, in which she later clarified by saying, everybody jumps to conclusions when I called it the first season. What else should I call it? To clarify, it does not imply that there will be a second. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Enjoy all the chapters of the Book of Boba Fett. So she mistakenly called it the first season of the Book of Boba Fett and kind of walked herself back. But it's a limited series, technically. I mean, it's supposed to just be the Book of Boba Fett. You don't have to call it season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett because there is no season 2. So Ming-Na Wen messing up like this, she would be the one who kind of knows if there's going to be a second season. Ming-Na Wen, of course, if you guys don't know, plays Fennec Shand. So Fennec Shand would definitely be one of the people who knows she's coming back for a second season. So this is not like a big miscommunication here. This is a likely thing that's happening. Later in 2022, the Star Wars actress remained hopeful for a second season, for a second chapter, when responding to inquiries with knock on wood, they'll be announcing that soon. So she was talking about like this is a thing and it's coming soon. So this is what she says. The second season of the Book of Boba Fett, I hope. I never count my chickens before they hatch because this is a business. You never know. But knock on wood, they'll be announcing that soon. You never count your chickens before they hatch. Good life lessons from Ming-Na Wen. So, more Boba seems like a possibility in early 2023 when Mando's own Pedro Pascal referred to the show as a first season as well. So again, another actor who played a major role in the first season of the Book of Boba Fett is now calling it the first season. However, Star Wars Celebration 2023 came and went, and no news about a second season. And Tamara Morrison was surprisingly MIA in The Mandalorian Season 3 as well. Let's linger on that before we get to this next part of this article. Remember when the first season of the Book of Boba Fett was announced? Do you remember that? It was back right after The Mandalorian Season 2 ended. It was actually in the credits. It was a post-credit scene of Boba going to Tatooine and taking the throne from Bib Fortuna. And what happened was they put up on the screen the title, whatever you want to call it, the logo for the Book of Boba Fett, and said Book of Boba Fett coming next December or whenever it was. And there was a stockholders meeting shortly after that where Kathleen Kennedy announced that the Book of Boba Fett would be the next chapter of the Mandoverse era and it would happen next December. We had no idea that was coming. Like, no idea the Book of Boba Fett was coming. So maybe, just maybe, the Ahsoka show or even the Skeleton Crew show could end in the same way with a post-credit scene that teases out Boba Fett's return and teases out a second season for the Book of Boba Fett. I don't think they're going to announce the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 until that happens. The reason that it wasn't announced at Star Wars Celebration was because nothing was announced at Star Wars Celebration. We had the 3 movies announced, but Disney Plus wise, other than Tales of the Jedi Season 2 and The Bad Batch Season 3, which we kind of already assumed we were getting, there was really no new announcements at Star Wars Celebration except for, of course, the 3 movies. So on Disney Plus, there was no new announcements. It was just new trailers, new footage from these shows that we already knew existed. They didn't announce any new shows. So the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 could still be a thing. But however, again, we're in a writer's strike in Hollywood right now. So it is a really tough time to tell what's going on. It is. It's a really tough time to tell what's going on at Lucasfilm, what's being written, what's not being written because of the writer's strike, what's being okayed. Like, we're getting movies delayed, we're getting shows delayed. We don't know when this writer's strike is going to end. It could be next week, it could be next month. We don't really know. So it's a lot of this is still just up in the air. It's all just a bunch of guessing games at this point. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. But what do we think? What do we think? Honey Badger says, I went back to finish the bounties, and the Boba scene was amazing. He actually doesn't go after Cal and told Cal he's not looking to bring him in. So with Cal's game being set in the Kenobi time period, how would that fit into Star Wars canon? Kind of confusing to me because isn't Boba's show set after the Kenobi show? Boba's show? Yeah, Boba's show is in the Mando timeline after the original trilogy, after he falls into the Sarlacc pit. What do you mean? What do you mean? Isn't the Boba show set after the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? Yeah, of course it is. But Boba was a bounty hunter before the original trilogy. I'm confused. He follows up and says, that being said, Boba didn't bring in Cal, but he was working for the Empire during Jedi Survivor. Or am I completely getting the timeline confused? I think you're completely getting the timeline confused because Survivor takes place before the original trilogy. He dies or gets thrown into the Sarlacc pit in the middle of the original trilogy, and then after the original trilogy is when he escapes the Sarlacc pit and gets his own show. If that clears that up. Jeffrey Snow says that timeline would be after Vader died and a little bit before the Sarlacc incident. What? Now you guys are just confusing me. Honey Badger says yes. Just really confused because I thought Survivor took place during Kenobi show and Vader and Kenobi would have had their second fight during the time in the Kenobi show, so it was confusing to me. Honestly, you're just confusing me. It goes Jedi Survivor, and I'm guessing when Vader fights Seer is before the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So Vader fights Seer before the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then it's the original trilogy. At the end of the original trilogy, Boba falls into the Sarlacc pit. And then after the original trilogy, he comes out of the Sarlacc pit, and then we get the Book of Boba Fett. Jeffrey gets what I'm saying. Okay, let's get back into this article. Let's get back. So, what's the best bet for more Boba Fett? What's the best bet for more Boba Fett? It even rhymes. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. At the moment, the Star Wars fans shouldn't expect the Book of Boba Fett sophomore season to release anytime soon, if ever. I'm drinking out of a clear cup today. I don't know what to tell you. Don't worry, I fixed it. Okay. Many of the critiques concerning the show's writing, use of flashbacks and series portrayal of Boba, a stark departure from Tamara Morrison's performance in The Mandalorian Season 2, are still fresh in audiences' minds. That is a good point right there. Boba in The Mandalorian Season 2, which is supposed to take place right before the Book of Boba Fett, is a completely different character. When he comes in The Mandalorian Season 2 and kicks ass, he literally just destroys a bunch of stormtroopers, literally destroying them with his gaffy stick, and then like does some badass stuff in The Mandalorian Season 2. And then when you see him in the Book of Boba Fett, it's like a completely different person almost. It's strange. It is strange. Plus, there's the reality that the best episodes of the brief 7-episode season starred Mando, not Boba, who retroactively hurt The Mandalorian's Season 3. Which retroactively hurt The Mandalorian Season 3. But whether fans and critics' complaints have played a part in any of Lucasfilm's plans for the Book of Boba Fett is unknown. And let's be honest, does Lucasfilm ever actually listen to us at this point? Because they're making a Rey movie. We'll get into that in a second, though. What is almost guaranteed is the impact the studio's future is with the ongoing Writers Guild Association's writer's strike. Writers Guild of America's writer's strike, which could result in slate delays. Also, following Disney's CEO Bob Iger's return, Disney has become more cognizant about streaming expenses. Now, here's a big problem for Lucasfilm and Disney and Star Wars in general, because Star Wars exists on Disney Plus. For years now it has, and for the upcoming years it will. The problem is, Bob Iger's new thing is cutting expenses, and that means cutting expenses when it comes to making Disney Plus shows, advertising Disney Plus shows. So with the Ahsoka show coming right around the corner, advertising for that show might be a little bit less than even The Mandalorian Season 3, which I thought the advertising for was very, very low. So it's going to be very concerning and interesting to see how many people come and see the Ahsoka show just because of the cutbacks, the lack of advertising to save money over at Disney. It's kind of crazy. It's really wild. So, with an emphasis on quality over quantity, and even removing shows and movies in a first ever Disney Plus content purge. Yeah, Willow was one of the shows that went out. It's kind of crazy. No Star Wars show was taken off, I don't believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any Star Wars shows were taken off, which is the good news. In addition, reports that Lucasfilm is working on a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett has been circulating online. A lot of rumors have been going around about a second season of this show for months and months and months. Nothing really concrete has come out, and probably because of the writer's strike, and we really don't know what's going on. But there's always been those rumors of a second season circulating. There's never been really rumors of like Obi-Wan season 2, except for when Ewan said he wants to make it, but again, there was no plans to make it. So it's a lot more likely we'll get a Book of Boba Fett season 2 than an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, that's for sure. However, as the Mandoverse continues to grow with Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, there are more opportunities for Boba Fett and Fennec Shand to return, not to mention Dave Filoni's Mandoverse crossover movie, which will likely be called Heir to the Empire, which would allow the bounty hunter to return to the big screen. Imagine that, Boba Fett back on the big screen for the first time since 1983. Now we're talking. So, Book of Boba Fett is available to stream on Disney+. So with all of that being said, nothing concrete, all just rumor for now. Do you want a Book of Boba Fett season 2, or do you think we'll get a Book of Boba Fett season 2? What do we think? Where's the poll sitting at right now? Right now, 75% of you do want that second season. Right now, it's a very small percentage, or small portion size, but you know. Where was I? Jeffrey Snow says, best bet for is I would love to see him get his own chance to create a family, but not like the young children routine would be a random person he adapted on the road and journey. At any age, or even the his teaches Fennec with Django taught him, I don't know what. Jeffrey, I don't know what you just said. Honestly, I don't even know if it was English. I think what you're trying to say is you want a second season, but you want it to actually be good. Maybe it's him training Fennec about something that he learned from Django. I think that's what I got. Don't worry about it. Honey Badger says, apologies, I completely confused myself going off for the Survivor cameo. It sat wrong with me because Boba should have been a lot younger in Survivor, given the fact that it's set in the Kenobi show. Yeah, I mean, I guess he is, but think about it. The original trilogy is only like 3 years, and we're about 5 years out from that too. And Boba's really, really old right now in the Mandoverse era, so he's got to be pretty old when it's the Jedi Survivor era. Yeah. Honey Badger says, I'm sorry for the confusion, Mike. Don't worry about it at all. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. But I do have to go. I have a stream. Yeah, good luck with that. But good luck with the rest of your stream. Oh, good luck with your stream. No, good luck with your stream. No, good luck with your stream. Going to finish on the playback later. Much love. Best YouTube streamer out here. Yeah, thanks, Honey Badger. Thanks. Swagger Like Us. What's up, Swagger says, still can't believe Favreau created the Book of Boba Fett focal series, then made him the background character in it. Thus, I don't want a second season. Too many missed opportunities, sadly. But what if they hit those opportunities on a second go-around? Swagger, what do we think? What if they hit those opportunities on a second go-around? What if Han Solo's in it? What if the Crimson Dawn, Kiara comes back? What do we think? Jeffrey Snow says, I get you, Swagger, but that's why I want a second season to correct those errors. Exactly, Jeffrey, that's what I'm saying. What if season 2 could fix everything that was wrong with season 1? And Swagger, I know what you mean. I can't believe that Jon Favreau wrote that story. Jon Favreau wrote the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian that were so incredibly good, and then he wrote the Book of Boba Fett, and we were like, what the heck is this? What is this? Swagger says, true. Yeah, exactly. I think a second season would only fix issues, and I don't think it would make things worse. At least I don't think it's possible that they could make things worse. Jeffrey Snow says, forget Han Solo. He's not relevant. Well, in Boba Fett's story, he kind of is. He's the guy who sent him into the Sarlacc pit. And if Han Solo and Luke and Leia are going to be extremely involved in the future of this Mandoverse with Dave's movie and seeing Luke and Ahsoka's first ever time meeting in the Ahsoka show, you could be getting a lot more of Han, Luke, and Leia. I don't know. It's possible. Jeffrey Snow says, I want blood Mace is top priority. Mace Windu. That's very interesting. Do you guys think Mace Windu's still alive? Do you think they bring back Mace Windu for a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? Jeffrey, I'm going to have to say no. Personally, I think Mace is dead, and if he wasn't dead, it would have been brought up by now. Where was he during the original trilogy? Where has he been through the whole Mandoverse era so far? Where was he during the sequel trilogy? If Mace survived that fall, where has he been? What's he been doing? Why did he not help fight against the Empire? Knowing Mace Windu, if he did survive, he would do anything to come back and kill the Emperor, come back and kill Vader. Literally try his hardest. And maybe they can work around the original trilogy and all these other projects and somehow figure it out. But I just don't think it's likely. I don't think it's likely. I do not think it's likely. Now, maybe to please fans, and maybe, just maybe, Lucasfilm will go so bold as to do something crazy like that. But I don't think it's likely. I do not think that it is very likely. Whoa. Okay. Let's get into this leaked plot for the Rey movie. So Rey's New Jedi Order is the next Star Wars movie. As of right now, it has a May of 2026 release date. May of 2026. That means 1, 2, 3 years from now. 3 years from now is when we'll be getting the next Star Wars film, and it will be a Rey movie. Now, there have been plot leaks today, and now Lucasfilm is claiming that the plot leaks are wrong. What to believe, we don't really know. Maybe Lucasfilm is just saying that they're wrong because they want us to believe that they're wrong and not know the plot of the movie. Or maybe they're just wrong. But maybe some pieces are right, some pieces are wrong. Who knows? But we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about the leaks. We're going to talk about what Lucasfilm said about the leaks. We're going to talk about all of it. But before we do, let me get into these last couple chats about Boba Fett. So, Swagger Like Us says, there's a Boba Fett fan film featuring Bosk and Dengar. That film captures the essence of Boba Fett perfectly, like Jedi Survivor did. Yeah, I think I've seen that one, actually. It is very, very good. It does capture that Boba Fett feel, unlike the Book of Boba Fett did. I agree. Jeffrey Snow says, if not, they could give us a throwback episode or flashback episode of his time before wearing the armor and probably clear on whose armor exactly he is wearing, if it's Jaster or Jango's father. Yeah, I could see something like that. Maybe a flashback episode. But the whole first season was flashback episodes, so I don't know, Jeffrey. The Guy, what's up, The Guy says, it's a great profile picture. The Guy says, if they can fix it into not being Book of Boring Fett, sure. Well, yeah. Beta Fett, Boring Fett, it's the same thing. People didn't like that first season. They thought the Mando episodes were fantastic. They thought the Book of Boba Fett, or the Boba Fett stuff, was too slow, too many flashbacks, too boring, too beta, whatever you want to call it. I agree. I think they need to make a second season and make Boba badass. Jeffrey says, as in biological father. Jango's biological father? Oh, I got you. Yeah. The Guy says, Boba Fett show is better with no Boba. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, the 2 episodes with Mando and no Boba are the best 2 episodes of the show. You're not wrong there. You are not wrong there. Swagger Like Us says, Boba felt too nice, and I feel his helmet was off way too much. Yeah, could not disagree with you there. I mean, he should be wearing his helmet a lot more. He should be more ruthless and deadly and killing a bunch of people and not ruling with respect, not running around in his diaper, not being Beta Fett. I completely agree. Jeffrey says, I don't like it, but that's what it is. The boring Fett? Yeah, it is. Boba felt like grandpa old fart. The Guy, you're dead on. You're literally 100%. Yes. Grandpa Old Fart, Boba Fett. That's what he was. Now, whether or not they're going to change that, here's the thing. The Mandalorian Season 2 came out. Boba returned. And it was the coolest thing ever. Everybody talked about it. Oh my God, Boba was so badass. He was smashing the helmets of stormtroopers. He is back. He is cooler than ever. Tamara Morrison is fantastic as him. And then they went and made his own show. They went and made his own show. And ruined it. I don't know why. I don't know how. Like they could have just went with what they did in The Mandalorian Season 2. But instead, they made him rule with respect and just walk around in a robe and be nice to everybody. All right, let's get into these Rey leaks before we crap on the Book of Boba Fett too much. Let's get into these Rey movie leaks, okay? So this is coming from Bespin Bulletin, who is usually a very reliable source. However, Lucasfilm themselves is saying that all this is just lies. So we're going to talk about what these leaks are and what the leaks actually are. And then we're going to talk about how Lucasfilm is saying that they aren't real, and we'll talk about that as well. So, let me zoom in on this too. That's better. Okay. Synopsis for Daisy Ridley's led Star Wars New Jedi Order movie appears online. Now, let me move this over one second. We got to zoom in way further. All right, let's do it. All right, that's good, but now I got to move back over. What the heck? Boom, got it. All right. Today, a new listing on a popular outlet lists a brief synopsis for upcoming Daisy Ridley-led Star Wars film, aiming to release in 2026 on a date its production will begin in the spring of 2024. That means next spring it will start production, and then we will go on from there. And it will release in May of 2026 is what people think. But before we continue the news of the day, I'd just like to share that you can now support my work, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Screw you, Bespin Bulletin. Earlier today, with the release of the latest digital issue, Production Weekly has listed the start date for filming of an untitled Star Wars movie being written by Stephen Knight of Peaky Blinders and directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy of Miss Marvel. Okay. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat, I think. This comes, it will start production in April of 2024. This comes a week after credible industry insiders and journalist Jeffrey Snyder took to his podcast, The Hot Mic, last week, where he revealed that despite Lucasfilm and Disney delaying the Rey movie-focused film from December of 2025 to May of 2026, filming was still slated to begin in April of next year. Personally, I don't believe it to be a coincidence that the outlet has now listed an April start date following Snyder's comments. Production Weekly does have their own sources, but frequently lists reports from other outlets and sometimes online rumors in their listings if they believe the outlets or person reporting the date to be true or reputable. So pretty much what they're saying is this Production Weekly is reporting based off of what Jeffrey Snyder is reporting. Now, if you guys don't know who Jeffrey Snyder is or what the Hot Mic podcast is, they are very, very good. They're reliable guys. Jeffrey is over there, and they really get a bunch of stuff right. Now, they do get stuff wrong. This is just a rumor. We don't know for sure, but it is supposed to be that this movie will start production next April. Let's keep going. In addition to the listing of Daisy Ridley's led flick for the April start date, they also added a brief synopsis. So here's where things get interesting. Some of it seems hobbled together based off of information reported by other outlets and comments made by Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy and director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Why can't people just have normal sounding names? No offense to people with crazy sounding names, but it makes my job so much more difficult. Okay. I'm pretty good at the Sharmeen name by now. I mean, I've said it so many freaking times. But it features details that have not previously been mentioned publicly. The listing reads, here we go. Set roughly 15 years after Rey's victory over Palpatine at the end of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the sequel delves into Rey's courageous endeavors to restore the Jedi Order, where she assumes the role of mentor to two promising young students, a boy and a girl. As their training progresses, it becomes evident that the girl possesses extraordinary abilities, destined to emerge as a future leader. Now that's it. That's it. That is the synopsis for the movie. Now Lucasfilm is claiming this is wrong, not correct, all that other stuff. But let's read it one more time. So, roughly set 15 years after Rise of Skywalker, blah, 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 the sequel is going to dive into Rey's courageous endeavors to restore the Jedi Order, New Jedi Order, where she assumes the role of mentor to two promising young students. Does that mean the New Jedi Order is just 3 people? Rey and her 2 students? Possibly. So these 2 students, a boy and a girl, are training, and the girl is clearly has evidence of possessing extraordinary abilities. And that's kind of the gist. That's what we're thinking here. What do you guys think about that? Let's talk about that before we keep the article going. What do we think about just that synopsis? Whether or not it's true or not, what do you think about it? What's up, Ed? How we doing, Ed? The guy says, save the rest for the roast of Boba for laters. Okay, well. The guy says, online. We are online, boys. Let's go. We're online? I think so. Okay. And before the Star Wars talks here, it's my shameless self-promotion. Before I tell you about Rey giving me all your money. What? Oh, you're talking about the Bespin Bulletin guys. Yeah, I get you. Jeffrey Snyder is the one interesting alien. Is one interesting alien? He's an alien? Didn't know that one. Ooh, yeah. Give us them juicy deeds. Spill the tea. Okay. Okay. The guy, okay. Oh no. The girl is more important than the boy? It seems like she's going to be more... I don't even... It's not experience. She's more just gifted with the Force, I'm guessing. That's kind of what they're getting at. So they're going from Rey, who was just extraordinarily gifted because she was a clone of Palpatine, or a daughter of a clone of Palpatine, and just had this extraordinary gift of the Force and didn't really need any training, trained with Luke for like 3 days. We're going from Rey being that powerful, that crazy power, to now this girl who's insanely powerful. Like, we just went from the dyad of the Force between Kylo and Rey to now this girl who's probably going to be even more powerful because Lucasfilm loves to just up the ante every 2 seconds. I don't know. Soccer Liga says, Star Wars and The Legend of Zelda are my favorite modern mythologies. And any criticism I give is always as an objective fan. For instance, the biker gang from the Book of Boba Fett was cringe and out of place. Yeah. Very. The Vespa gang? Yeah, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, obviously all of my opinions and the stuff I'm saying on here is just as an objective fan, just like you guys. But we all know here that everything I say is fact. So, yeah. The guy says, I think they should cancel this junk. There is a possibility of that happening. There is. There really is. So, I'm sure as many of you know, Indiana Jones 5 releases a week from tomorrow. So next Friday. Next Friday, Indiana Jones comes out. And if Indiana Jones flops, if it bombs, then Kathleen Kennedy might be fired. And I say might because there has been a bunch of bombs since Kathleen Kennedy has come out. The Willow Show, bomb. The Rise of Skywalker, kind of a bomb. I mean, critically crapped on and all that other stuff. She has really angered Star Wars fans, Willow fans, Indiana Jones fans. She's done it all. So if she keeps her job, if Indiana Jones bombs, we're really in trouble. But if it does bomb and she is, in fact, fired, then maybe this movie gets canceled right along with Kathleen Kennedy. If she goes out, somebody new is in charge, whether it be Dave Filoni, whether it be Jon Favreau, whether it be somebody else. That movie could be canceled. There is that possibility because if she's fired before this movie goes into production, which is April of 2024, we just talked about that. If she is fired before this movie goes into production, then maybe it gets canceled. maybe it gets canceled and it gets replaced with a different movie. Dave Filoni's movie moves up a slot, becomes the first movie into theaters. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie gets pushed up a slot. And then maybe we get like an Old Republic movie, Taika Waititi's movie, maybe Rogue Squadron. Maybe we get a different movie. And maybe this movie does get canceled. Because a lot of people, the guy, they agree with you. They agree with the guy that this should be canceled. This should never happen. Nobody wants to see a Rey movie after the sequel trilogy. I'm sure somebody does, but not many. Not many. Ed Chilton says, I really want to love all Star Wars, but Kathleen Kennedy really makes it difficult. I have watched reviews on episode 9, but I have not watched the movie. I doubt I will pay to watch the Rey movie. And I'm sure you're not in the minority there, Ed. I feel like a lot of people are going to be thinking the same way as you. Even if they saw The Rise of Skywalker, they're not going to want to go see this Rey movie. And it's not even like it's the beginning of a new trilogy. It's not. It's not the beginning of a new trilogy. Kathleen Kennedy said it's a standalone thing and we'll see where we go from here. Make it the beginning of a new trilogy. Make it episode 10. I don't know. Seems stupid and dumb. Stupid, dumb, stupid, dumb, stupid, dumb, and dumb and stupid. Jeffrey Snow says, KK is on some high spice. Boba needs to check that out. Yeah, it would be nice if like Boba Fett Season 2, first episode, it was Boba hears about somebody stealing spice, goes to figure it out who it is. It ends up being Kathleen Kennedy, and he just guns her down in the Slave One. and since they had to change the name, he goes, "This is my ship. It's the Slave One. It's not my starfighter." That'd be awesome. That'd be great. I'm all down for that. And then she gets fired the next day. A masterpiece. Masterpiece. Jeffrey loves it. All right, let's finish this article. Let's see what they had to say about this. So Bestman Bulletin says, personally, I don't believe the synopsis to be the official one whatsoever. It didn't read like one, and I assume it's based off of past comments made by creatives involved with the New Jedi Order movie, mixed with some past information and perhaps some speculation. We've known that the story will be about 15 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker for 2 months, thanks to Kathleen Kennedy and Charmin Oibid Chinoy, with the story focusing on Rey Palpatine. I don't even know what to call her anymore because I'm not calling her Rey Skywalker. There's absolutely no way. Rey Palpatine, attempting to build her new Jedi Academy. All right, what do you guys think? Tell me in the chat. Do you think they're actually going to call her Rey Skywalker? Like, if these two kids that they're talking about in this fake synopsis, if these two younglings come up to her and go, Master Skywalker, I'm going to lose it. In the theater, I'm going to start booing the screen, throwing my popcorn on the nearest person to me. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. When the script was being written by Lost scribe Damon Lindelof, it was widely reported that the film would focus on 2 leads, a male character and a female character, with later reports adding that the twosome would be students of an aging Rey Palpatine, with Stephen Knight picking up where Lindelof left off, revamping and redrafting a new script to Lucasfilm's vision, ditching past ideas that Lindelof had. It's safe to assume that the film would still revolve around Rey, but this time as a lead in an unknown number of students with emerging, developing Force powers. Do you think they'll go with this whole school of characters, like a whole new cast of characters? Twosome. I knew as soon as I read that you were going to say something. I knew as soon as I read that you were going to say something. I have not seen the synopsis listed online anywhere else, and I'm still very much skeptical of its authenticity. Easy for you to say. Authenticity. But it is likely on the right track given the information that we've already learned over the past few months. even if it is simply speculation or a collection of details we already know drafted into a brief synopsis. Can't read today. Again, the April start date isn't new information and probably made its way onto the listing as it came from an extremely reliable insider and journalist last week. The untitled Daisy Ridley-led Star Wars movie is expected to be released on May 22nd of 2026. Thanks for reading blah, 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 blah. So they don't even think it's real. That kind of seems to be the consensus. This synopsis is not real. And Lucasfilm themselves have even said this as well. So, what do we think? What do we think? Oh no. Okay, so the guy says, you're making a good point because the director of Indy 5 is working on the Jedi Origins movie, Dawn of the Jedi, yes. So we'll see if they flush that down the toilet after Indy bombs too. Yeah, so James Mangold, I don't know, there's an S somewhere in there. James Mangold is directing Indiana Jones 5, and he's set to direct the Dawn of the Jedi movie. We've seen this time and time again where if a director bombs on one movie, they usually lose the next movie. Taika Waititi is the best example here. He was the hot shit. He was the new hot shit going around Hollywood. He just made Thor Ragnarok, which was a massive hit, made over $1 billion. And he was the new cool guy in town. He directed a few episodes of The Mandalorian Season 1. He was that awesome, funny, comical director guy. Then he's announced to get his own Star Wars movie. Then he does Thor Love and Thunder. And that bombs bad. And many people hate that movie. However you feel about that, it really hurt his reputation. And now the Star Wars movie that he's been developing is still in question. Whether that's going to be made, whether this, that, the other thing. All because Thor Love and Thunder bombed. So James Mangold, one of the greatest directors of all time. He did Logan. He did Ford versus Ferrari. This guy's the real deal. Some of the best movies ever. And now, Indiana Jones 5 might be the reason that he doesn't get to do a Star Wars movie. If that movie bombs, it's going to be hard for people to get excited about a Star Wars movie directed by the same guy that destroyed Indiana Jones. Now, you can blame Kathleen Kennedy. You can blame Lucasfilm. But they're going to blame the director. They always blame the director because it's always the director's fault. Even with Obi-Wan, they blamed Deborah Chow, even though she was just thrown onto that project kind of last minute and had to deal with what she already had. And nobody blames the writer. Nobody blames the writer. What was the writer for Kenobi? Well, it's that guy. We hate him so much. I always forget his name, but I hate him with a burning passion. The guy says, Chinoy. Yes, Charmin Oibid Chinoy. It's a tough one. The guy says twosome. Ooh, spicy. Yeah, yeah. They're going to need an intimacy coordinator on that one, for sure. Jeffrey says, BRB. Don't worry about it, Jeffrey. Ed says, it's pretty difficult to go from making the best Thor movie to the worst Thor movie. There are two terrible Thor movies. True, the first two Thor movies are very slow and bad, and I honestly don't really like them that much. Thor Ragnarok is a fucking masterpiece. Language. It's one of the most, probably one of the best Marvel movies. It's top 3 for sure. But, then he goes and makes Thor Love and Thunder, and all hell breaks loose, and he loses everything. He loses his whole reputation. So, it'll be interesting. Swagger Like Us says, Rey having a film extending the sequel narrative further actually hurts. I'd rather allow a fan favorite character like Grogu to have free reign in a post-sequel era with Ragnar. Imagine Ragnar. Imagine. Ragnar as a grown-up Mandalorian. Ragnar being, wait, what the hell's his name? What's Jon Favreau's Mandalorian character's name? Completely blanking on his name, but his son, Ragnar, yes. Yeah, they should definitely go forward with Grogu. I don't know what they're waiting for. Go 200 years past the sequel trilogy. Rey's dead. Finn's dead. Poe's dead. They're all dead. but Grogu's still alive, and he's recreating the Jedi Order. He's still a Mandalorian. Like, this would be what you want. The Mandalorians and the Jedi were at civil wars for hundreds upon thousands of years. The correct way to go forward with Star Wars is with a frickin' Mandalorian Jedi. Paz Vizsla. Paz Vizsla, thanks to Guy. Paz Vizsla. Thank you. I don't know why. I can't think of names today. But yeah, just go hundreds of years past it, and you'll have Grogu as a Mandalorian and a Jedi, and it would be like poetry. They fought for thousands of years, civil wars between Mandalorians. Mandalorians made Beskar armor, made the shield on their arms, made the little like rope they go out to grab stuff. All their weaponry and their armor was built to fight against the Force and Jedi and lightsabers. That's why Beskar can withstand a lightsaber, because the Mandalorians were at a constant war versus the Jedi. What better thing to do than have Grogu be the one that brings both together? Mandalorians and Jedi. Swagger Like Us says, the film would gross $1 billion easily. I mean, easily. Just put Grogu on a poster by himself and like pointing to a sign that says, come watch this movie, and you'd make $1 billion. It's not rocket science. And I know I say that all the time when it comes to Star Wars, it's not rocket science, but I feel like Kathleen Kennedy makes it so much harder than it has to be. Like, so much harder. What should we do after the sequel trilogy divided the entire fan base? Oh, maybe our next movie, after 7 years of not being in the movie theater, should be a sequel movie with Rey. I think that'll make a lot of fans happy. It's just stupid. It's so unbelievably dumb. It's insane. It's insanity. It's insanity. Craziness. Absolutely craziness. Dum 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 dum. How about this? Okay? Let's get into some Mando Season 4 news, okay? Giancarlo Esposito has come out and said that he wants to continue to play the character of Moff Gideon. So all the people talking about how they thought Moff Gideon was going to still survive somehow after The Mandalorian Season 3 might not be wrong. This is not the stream I want to go out on after I got vacation for a week next week. I want it to be uplifting and happy. Where's all the good Star Wars news? Give me another Ahsoka trailer. Do something for me, please. But we got all bad news today, sadly. Not bad news, but not great news. Nothing to get hyped up about. But here's what Giancarlo has to say. So let's read this article as well. Let's read it up. Dum 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 dum. Boom. Star Wars: The Mandalorian's Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, weighs in on a Season 4 return. In Season 3 of The Mandalorian, audiences witnessed... Oh, is that too small? Should we zoom in one more, maybe? Zoom in one more. No, that's too big. No! Go back. Okay. Witnessed the lengths Moff Gideon went to in order to become as powerful as possible, which included manipulating Beskar to craft armor and develop clones in hopes of extending his legacy. Actor Giancarlo Esposito claims he knows nothing about the upcoming Season 4 of the series, though admits he's excited for a possible return. Because even if his Moff Gideon might not have survived Season 3, which he didn't, we saw him blow up, right? Right? The incorporation of clones would allow for such a comeback. Disney has yet to officially announce a Season 4 of the series, though reports claim that production on the next season of the series would start later this year. Now, that might be pushed back because of the writer's strike. We talked about this many streams ago. But yeah, it was supposed to start filming this fall, but it's been pushed back because of the writer's strike. That's about it. So, this is what Giancarlo says, I know nothing about Season 4, creator Jon Favreau hasn't tipped his hat to me. Esposito shared to The Wrap. What kind of rap? So many fans are like, you were a clone, right? Because everybody was like, you were a clone. You didn't actually die. It could be. I trust Jon. He knows what he's doing. I would love to keep dying and coming back. That'd be my favorite thing of all. There's a lot of ways that it could go. I'm open to whatever they have in play. So he, of course, wants to come back. He loves being in Star Wars. He absolutely loves being in Star Wars. And he doesn't want his character to end. And there's always the possibility when it comes to cloning and this, that, and the other. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Not only do fans love Gideon, but Esposito himself clearly has a lot of passion for the character. Also, as he describes what he felt made the figure so compelling. He says, "I liked the character of Moff Gideon for a lot of reasons. One is the control of as he controls the chaos like no other." Jeez, I don't know what I'm trying to read here. Two is that he is very smart and knows everything. That's a given. And he has abilities. Here's the thing. He just says he has abilities. Like Force abilities. We know he made Force-sensitive clones. The actor expressed he's not only good with his very foreign object, the Darksaber, that doesn't belong to him, but really does fit with him. He really is trying to sell himself on that Darksaber. He's really good with his TIE fighter. Interesting. And now, in the third season, we see him masterminding something that he really wants not knowing. That he really wants not knowing. As an audience, what the true vision is. Okay. And that's exciting. The anti-hero is really just a fallen hero. There's a complication about him that I try to live and breathe when I'm on the set. So he's talking about how he's the anti-hero. He's not really a villain per se. He's just trying to make clones of himself and take over the galaxy. You know, common villain things. But it is interesting to see that he is all for coming back for season 4. He's all for doing, and that's it, right? Oh, wait, no, wait. Do we have one more thing? Yeah. Despite being a key villain of season 2 and season 3 of the series, it's possible that with the upcoming series Star Wars Ahsoka and the movie crossover on the way, Grand Admiral Thrawn will be taking over the major threat in the galaxy far, far away in this New Republic era. So many fans were really concerned or questioning how they were going to do this, how they were going to get Moff Gideon out and Grand Admiral Thrawn in. And many people believed that Grand Admiral Thrawn was going to come in and kick Moff Gideon's ass, and that's how we were going to know that Thrawn stands that much higher than Gideon. Now, Gideon's gone. He's been killed. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever mention Gideon again, if he ever comes back, because there was a whole bunch of clones of him, if they survived that explosion, that is. And whether or not that Force sensitivity, the cloning Force sensitives, is built upon more with Grand Admiral Thrawn, I should say, because we know it's built upon more because of Palpatine in the sequels and Snoke in the sequels and all that stuff. Here's a question for you guys. At what point do you actually want to see Supreme Leader Snoke? When? In Ahsoka? In Skeleton Crew? In Mando Season 4? In the movie? In the Heir to the Empire movie? Or after? When do you want to see Supreme Leader Snoke brought in? If at all. I mean, I'm sure many of you are like, no sequels, keep him away. What do we think? What do we think? The guy says, "Oh my God, just stop with the Moff Gideon. I'm done just repetitive junk. He's back. Oops, he's dead. Oops, he's back. Oops, he's dead." Yeah. I could not disagree. I could not agree with you more. Sorry. I could not agree with you more. Here's the thing. When people were like, "Oh, he's probably just a clone that died," I was the one who came out immediately and said, "No. He's dead. He's gone. He's dead for good. Don't bring him back, please. Please, 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 please." But many Star Wars fans want him to come back. They have a keen eye for Moff Gideon, I guess. They really, really like his character. And everybody loves Giancarlo Esposito as an actor. They love him as a guy. But I don't know. I don't think they should bring him back. It would be stupid. Like the guy says, oop, he's dead. Oop, he's back. Oop, he's dead. Who cares? Like at this point, can somebody just die and actually die for real? In Star Wars, like really? The guy follows up and says, he's like, I don't know about anything about season 4, but I'm excited to see how stupid it is, guys. Well, I hope it's not stupid. I really hope it's not stupid. Ed says, I would be all right with a clone or an AI program of Moff Gideon, but the original Moff Gideon has to remain dead. An AI program, no, please, God, no. A clone, I still don't like it. I don't like it. They'd have to do it in the correct way, but I don't like it. I don't like it. The cheesy rap, yeah. Swagger Like Us says, Season 3 handled Gideon so poorly, brought him back and just killed him off. And kind of wanted Thrawn to take Gideon out. Yeah, I wanted Thrawn to show up and just behead him. That sounds so dark and violent, but I wanted him to show up and just chop his head off. Yeah, that's what should happen. The guy says he has abilities on the toilet. yeah, okay. Ed says Gideon is not an anti-hero. He's a villain. Yeah, there is really no like hero side to him. There's no way to spin that. He is the villain. It's quite simple. The guy says somehow Gideon has respawned in another snooze fest. Yeah, somehow Gideon has returned. I really hope not. I feel like Disney has learned their lesson. Now, I know I say that all the time, and it doesn't seem that way with Kathleen Kennedy saying stupid stuff all the time. But I feel like they've learned their lesson with the sequel trilogy. Now, I know the next movie is literally a sequel trilogy movie, but I still feel like they've learned their lesson with bringing back Palpatine, with not having a plan. I think Dave Filoni is the guy. And I think anything he does, I have a lot of faith in. So, I think they've learned their lesson. I hope so. Ed says, I'm okay not seeing Snoke. Here's the thing. I thought Snoke was one of the coolest parts of the sequel trilogy until Rian Johnson came in and just literally chopped him in half and just turned him into a clone of that Palpatine made. But the thing is, Snoke is very cool. Even before we find out that he's a clone, he's very, very cool. He still gets to Kylo, turns him to the dark side. Like, all of that I want to see. I want a Luke Jedi Temple show. I want to see Kylo Ren's fall to the dark side. That would be awesome. And Snoke is a very big part of that. There has to be some reason for all Snoke's scarring. Maybe it's a fight between him and Luke. Like, Luke had to have once come up against Snoke because Snoke knows all about Luke. I don't know. Swagger Like Us says, Mando Season 3 was Book of Boba Fett, sidelining the main character, a great villain introduced too late, weak storytelling, and convoluted mess of a season. You're kind of dead on right there. Literally, thing for thing. Sidelining the main character, Din Djarin sidelined, Boba Fett sidelined. A great villain introduced too late. Cad Bane was amazing, introduced in the second to last episode. Same exact thing with Moff Gideon, brought back in the second to last episode. Storytelling was weak, yep, and convoluted mess of a season. Exactly. They were almost the exact same freaking show. Swagger, you are right on. The guy says, if Gideon turns into AI, can he sing all our favorite songs? Yeah. You think Dave is the guy? I think I'm Dave Filoni. The guy, you're Dave Filoni? Are you Dave Filoni? Guys, I think we got Dave Filoni in our chat right now. Ed says, give me Andy Serkis. Don't give me Snoke. So you just want more Kino Loy is what you're saying, Ed? Kino Loy is what you're saying? Well, I think you're going to get some more Kino Loy in Andor Season 2. So there you go. There you go. What is going on right now? Bum 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 bum. Okay, never mind. All right, what else do we got to talk about today? Is there any other news going on right now that you guys want to talk about? Swagger Like Us says, seeing Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, Mando Season 3 drop in quality, the sequel's bomb really made me appreciate Star Wars Rebels as a series more than I already did. No filler at all, and all 4 seasons top the previous one. I could not agree with you more. I think Rebels is still the most underrated piece of Star Wars content ever. It is. It really is. And like you said, yeah, those last couple projects, Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett, and Mando Season 3 really make you appreciate the good content, the really, really good writing, the really, really good storytelling. And Rebels is that. It really is that. Really, really is that. Does anybody want to talk about anything else, or should we get on out of here? It's a very slow time for Star Wars news, and I'm hoping, I know I don't like to hope for slow news, but I am going on vacation for a week. So I'm scheduling a bunch of videos to post, and I'm doing all this stuff so that we have content to share throughout the week that I am gone, but there won't be any live streams. So I'm hoping there's not any big news stories that I don't miss, and we get to actually have live streams about it. But yeah, I hope we don't miss anything big while I'm gone. Well, I'm gone. I got an amazing video coming out tomorrow. I think it's going to be really, really good. And actually, it's all about, yeah, you know, whatever. Swagger Like Us says, Star Wars Outlaws? Yeah, so Star Wars Outlaws, what do you guys think about that? Are you guys going to play that game? Are you guys excited about that game? Star Wars Outlaws, I thought really, really looked good. I thought the trailer was amazing. I thought the gameplay looked amazing. It's all open world. Star Wars open world. Sign me up. Just those 2 words, or 3 words. Star Wars open world. Open world's 1 word, right? It's got to be great. True. Ed says, settle the writer's strike so we can get some more content. Yeah, exactly. I know, right? Swagger says, looks awesome. Yeah. Outlaws looks amazing. And I'm surprised at how many people are crapping on the game. So many people are like, oh, you're just in the underworld. You're just a stupid smuggler of a character we've never seen before. Blah, 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 blah. That's what annoying Star Wars fans sound like to me. They just go blah, 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 blah. I think it looks amazing. I think the game looks fan-freaking-tastic. That's what I think. That's what I think. Where's the poll sitting at? 71% of you guys want a second season of Book of Boba Fett. I want Star Wars Outlaws now. Bring it on. Well, yeah, it'll be 2024, so it's right around the corner, actually. And then probably right after that, you got Eclipse, Knights of the Old Republic, like stuff like that. Like, it's going to be a good time to be a Star Wars fan. I always say it. Gotta always say it. I mean, Ahsoka's coming. It's coming quick. I mean, we're 2 months. 2 months from tomorrow. 2 months from tomorrow is Ahsoka. That is right around the corner. So excited for that show, and I can't wait to do live watch parties with you guys, breakdowns, prediction videos, all that stuff. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We'll be doing 4 live streams a week when that show comes out. We'll be doing Tuesday streams, which are prediction streams. We'll be doing Wednesday live watch parties at 3 a.m. for me, at least, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing Thursday streams talking about the episodes, and we'll be doing Saturday streams as usual. So 4 streams a week is kind of crazy. Crazy. But it's going to be amazing. It's all going to be worth it because it's going to be awesome. All right. I think I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for sticking around. The guy, welcome to the club. The club. And if you are the Dave Filoni, hit me up. Yeah, so Book of Boba Fett Season 2, maybe. Rey movie, maybe. Kathleen Kennedy being fired, hopefully. We hope and we pray. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Okay. So Like Us says, best community. That is the truth. That is the truth. Dave Filoni, you are the GOAT. Exactly. All right. I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for sticking around for this stream. Thank you for all the support and love on the channel. Watch out for a video coming out tomorrow, probably around 5 or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch out for that video. It'll be a good one. And then watch out for videos coming next week. Hopefully I can get some videos to be ready to go. And yeah. So hit that subscribe, hit that bell, and may the force be with you. Always. Where's the stupid button? There we go. What a great show. What a great stream. What a great show. I'm really out of it today, I guess. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for sticking around. What was I going to say? I don't even know anymore. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your lives. Have a great next week without any live streams, sadly. And good night, everybody.